Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. This is an instructional video to cut your supplies and your materials for a wreath kit that we have provided or sold. So they may vary in some cases, but typically when I do the actual video, I've avoided this part just to make the video go a little bit quicker. But I thought it'd be a little informative if we actually go through the cutting at least once for one of the kits, so you can always reference back to this particular video just for the cutting purposes. Our kits typically, not always, typically come with two 2.5-inch ribbons for your tails, okay, and 3 to more ribbons for your bow. Sometimes there is a single ribbon and then there's just more ribbon of it, but this is typically what it looks like. A roll of mesh, a sign, 2 ribbons for your tails, and you know that because if you count them, there should be 12 pieces here, okay? 12 pieces. These are 14 inches long. We're going to do everything together. And you know this because these ribbons only have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So the ribbons for the bow have, they're wrapped 4 times, and the ribbons for the tails are wrapped 12 times, okay? So I'm going to set the ribbons for the bow aside. You'll see this bow demonstrated in the actual tutorial for the kit. This is just the cutting instructions for the general kits. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is, if you've gotten our kit, you've received 2 of our zip tie mounts, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is flip your sign over. Now this is for this particular sign. So for this sign I want a mount at the top and the bottom. Typically our signs are rectangular, so you'd want one on each of those sides, okay? So I'm going to take this little tip off here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use just a teensy tiny little bit of this. Now you don't have to, but we're going to use a teensy tiny little bit of this DAP Rapid. It's DAP is the company, Rapid Fuse is the kind, and we're going to take this little guy off here. Now I personally use a staple gun for the wood signs, but for metal signs I do use these. So you want to do this ahead of time. So if you have this, go ahead and put a teensy tiny little bit. I'm talking little tiny bit here, and put it right on the edge, and then go around to the other side. Now, if you feel more comfortable, you want to put them side to side, you totally can. This is just how I'm going to do it for this particular kit. And then another little tiny dab of this. Now, you don't have to have this glue, but it is just extra security, and it just helps my crazy brain. I don't know if my thing is going to miss that. Anyways, my crazy brain kind of relax a little bit. Now, what I also do is I take these clamps. I got these from Harbor Freight. It's super hard to open. And so that they're ready when I'm ready, I put the clamp on there to help it dry. Now, I don't have it does fit. I don't have very strong grip. I have carpal tunnel, so anything that helps me, I'm all in. Now, the little ones that I get from the Dollar Tree, they don't have very much grip. These little ones I'm talking about, they don't have very much grip. Although they would help a little, they're not going to help for this kind of thing. I like to use the really tough grips. What are these called? Clamps. You don't have to have them. I just use them. Otherwise, if you don't have the glue and you don't have the clamps, it's fine. Just take the little pieces off the back, stick it where you want them to go, and do that ahead of time so it gives a little time for your pieces to adhere, okay? So I'm going to set this aside, and you'll see how we work it in the full tutorial. Okay, so now for our ribbon tails. Now again, I know that these are my ribbon tails because I counted them. There are 12. And they're wound like this. Now all of our kits are wrapped just like this, okay? So I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to take my scissors and just cut. Now I know they're 14 inches because if I just measure them here, It's a little over 14 inches. That's okay. Don't waste your time and cut every single one at 14 inches. Don't do that, all right? It's going to be quicker, easier, better, and the length is just going to be a little bit longer, and that's good because that's how I use it. So I'm going to take those. Now I have super good scissors, so I can cut 6 of these at a time. What I'm going to do is fold this, cut on the fold up towards the edge. Okay, nice good scissors will do you good. And then I'm just going to come here, line those back up because it kind of shifts a little bit. Line those back up. Whoopsie. Fold it, cut on the fold. Okay, now I have 6 of them cut. I'm going to go to my other side and cut these 6. Just make sure they're kind of lined up. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Y'all, making sure each of these are perfectly cut, cutting them one by one. You see how that shifted down? I'm just going to bring it back up. Making sure you're cutting them one by one, making sure each one is perfect. I love you. I'm here to tell you it's a waste of time. No one's going to notice that one is a deeper V than the other, etc. Now, I've already done this ahead of time just to make our video go a little bit quicker. So then what I do is, so I cut both of my tails. I dovetail the end, so there's a little V there on the end. And then I take my favorite ribbon of the two. Now, sometimes this could vary. I could have a 2.5 inch and 2 1.5 inch. I could have a 4 inch and a 1.5 inch or a 2.5 inch. Okay, so this could vary. The tails will be your ribbon that has 12 wraps. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take my favorite and put it on the top. And then I just fold them. This also doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't waste your time. I'm just going to find them, put them in the middle, find them as best as I can. Find them in the middle, pull them up, and then set them aside. I'm not even taking my, oh, this one is a little bit shorter. So I want to make sure that that kind of goes there. See how now they're a little bit shorter on both ends? Perfect. I'll always put my favorite on the top. And sometimes that could vary, you know, depending on what I want to see the most. So I want to see the polka dots because they are darling and they match that Easter egg perfectly with the purple polka dots. But I want to see the eggs more. Now, quite honestly, both of these are my favorite. I love the polka dots. They are darling. And this Easter egg ribbon is just ultra cute, okay? So for me, both of these I really do honestly love the same. But I want that polka dot to kind of not fade into the background, but kind of slightly, you know, be a background noise against the eggs, okay? So I do all this prep ahead of time. Now, if you have the kit or you've purchased a kit from us, this is the cutting instructions. Just keep going. I want you to watch where we cut the mesh and what we do with the mesh. Kind of it is specific. There's always a method to my madness. There's always a reason for what I do. So if you just follow that, and there's some good tips, there'll be some good tips there. Okay, so now we're going to set this aside so that when we're ready, our ribbon tails, everything's going to be ready for us. So we're going to set these aside. Excuse me. I'm going to cut the mesh. It's going to be a little loud. Hold on. So again, the mesh, this was all a kit. Now you can use these, obviously, these instructions if you're using, if you're just, you know, making any wreath. So I always cut the end for a nice crisp edge. Throw that away. And I just use the weight just to help me go a little bit quicker. Now, a couple of things. Mesh is a woven material. You have material going this way, you have material going this way. As soon as I cut it, it's going to fray. Okay? It's not metal. It's gonna fray. So what I want you to make sure is you have a nice, clean, newer blade. Okay, fairly sharp. I try to change mine every 6 months or so, and I make a lot, okay? I make a lot. And then you want to make sure you have a nice crisp cutting mat. This is a self-healing mat where if I cut with my rotary cutter, right, it's going to heal itself, okay? Just so that I'm not ruining it. And then number 3, you want to make sure you're applying pressure, okay? So I'm not just going to, that would be yucky. I'm going to make sure I'm applying pressure. Your mesh is going to cut 20 inches long. You're going to cut them 20 inches long. Nice clean cut. It even stuck a little bit. This one does have the little snowball kind of pieces go through. Super cute. But sometimes that also means that super cuteness gets stuck in my mat. It's fine. I'll take it all out at the end, okay? So, nice and easy, self-healing. Now, my first 6 pieces coming off this mesh here, look how big they are, okay? They want to expand. They want to stay just like the roll is, okay, nice and big on that outside. And so your kit comes with, which I don't even have it on the table, your kit comes with the Pancake Wreath Frame Bundle, okay? Pancake Wreath Frame Bundle. At least, not all, but most of our kits do. Hold on, let me grab it. Pancake Wreath Frame Bundle. Yes, we do need it. Now, the first 6 cuts that I just took off of here, I'm going to save, and I'm going to use for our 10-inch frame. So your kit, as long as you've got a kit that came with it, not all of our kits do, as long as you, sorry there. Okay, so it's our patent pending Pancake Wreath frame, which for this kit, we're going to use the 14-inch, okay? They come tacked together so that they ship nicely, so just poke those through. But the first 6 pieces that I just cut off, I'm going to use for this frame. So I'm going to set it aside completely, and I'm not going to use these pieces in our design here. So later, when I have a different sign, I can come back to this frame and ribbon, and then I can add this. So you're kind of getting 1.5 projects out of the kit here. And what I do is I just roll these back up very gently, roll these back up, and I set them aside to, and I have them actually all in a tote. And then when I'm ready to do a 10-inch design, instead of opening up a new roll of mesh where I can't really eyeball it and know how much I took off there, how much I didn't, I just go to this tote that has all these extras in. The reason I'm taking this and using it for the 10-inch is remember I pointed out that it expands pretty good. I need the pieces because we're just going to use the outside twist ties for the 10-inch frame, and I need those pieces to really expand when I put it in there. We do have other videos available in our YouTube that shows how this design for this frame and how it expands. So set those aside, okay? Set those aside. And look, I have them sitting right here. Like these are all from ribbon pieces of rolls of mesh that I took off. These are the outside, the first 6 pieces that I took off. So I do this. This is an actual thing for me. Okay, and then the side extender could be used at another different time. Your kit only came with enough for one project. We do sometimes sell kits that are triple kits that have, it's one purchase and it has 3 projects in it using all of the pieces of the frame. Anyways, what you do for this is, not on this one because it is embossed and there's a little lip there, but on a flat back sign, you can glue it or staple it to the back, add a piece of mesh, a ribbon, a bow. It's super cute, and you just turn it into a little door hanger. We also have videos for that too. Okay, moving on. Sorry. With your pancake bundle also comes the recipe card, very brief, for a 14-inch frame, a 10-inch frame. If you scan this with your phone, with your camera, it will take you to a general pancake wreath recipe also. Okay, so you have that as well. All right, now the rest of this should give me enough for what we're going to use today. And I say should because sometimes the manufacturer, sometimes this happens and the roll is a tiny bit short. So if you're planning to do it this way, if you're planning to use the first 6 pieces for the 10-inch, sometimes very random, but it does happen. I will feel like I got to just tell you, you know, your roll might be a little bit short. So what I do is, it's supposed to be 20 inches, okay? I might cut 19 and a half. Just, you know, I don't like taking risks. So just to be on that safe side. So you might see me cut right on the 20 inch. You might see me cut right on the 19 and a half. But now you know why I do that, okay? So now the next 6 pieces that I cut off are going to be for the outside of this frame. So these pieces are still, excuse me, in expanding mode, right? They're not, you know, wanting to kind of, they're in the middle. There's still a decent size expansion there. So you see it kind of nice and big. And it's going to do exactly what we want it to do. Those inside pieces, the last 6 pieces that we take off this, they're going to want to stay curled because they're nice and nestled on the inside of that frame. Again, making sure I'm applying pressure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now these last pieces are going to go for the inside 6 here. Okay, so the second set of 6 go on the outside of our 14-inch frame. I'm not trying to make this confusing. I am trying to get you to stretch your supplies. This is how I do it. So this is how I, you know, of course, want to teach you. This is how I get my supplies, stretch my supplies so I can get more projects out of my materials. So just so that you know. So you kind of get 1.5 projects out of this. Well, technically you get the sign extender, and all you need for that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that doesn't make sense, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm cutting 20 inches, so this is a perfect example. This gave me more than 10 yards. Let me just see the thing here. Nope, it says 10 yards. So we got a little lucky on this one. That doesn't normally happen unless I drastically miscounted on the first 6. We have a little bit of extra, which is totally fine. Actually, I would use this then, whatever's extra for the sign extender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Counted that like 5 times. I think we're good. All right, so this is the end of this video. Thank you very much for purchasing the kit or for watching. Now, this is also great, again, even if you didn't buy the kit, both this video and the next video where we'll be creating this wreath here. Great even if you didn't buy the kit, okay? Even if you didn't buy the kit, these are great instructions that you can use for your own supplies at home. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Again, Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. Don't forget to be subscribed to us so that you are seeing all of our new videos come out. Also, if you go to Learn From Melissa, Melissa, learnfrommelissa.com, you'll see a list of all the links that we provide, our social medias, how we can help you, helpful tools, our favorite suppliers, all those things. So you can go to learnfrommelissa.com. I hope to see you soon, and I can't wait to see your designs. Bye, y'all.